We're taught stepmother equals a bad thing. So we believe stepmother equals a bad thing. We believe divorce is a horrible end to a marriage. I was so happy to be married and I was so happy to be divorced.
Oh, that is the first time I'm hearing this.
Acting skills lacked a lot. So I used to just distract them by showing my cleavage. So that nobody would look up because they were so busy looking down. I've dated a younger man. I've dated an older man. I've dated a pauper. I've dated a billionaire. Everybody has been so correct for that journey that I needed to have. And I'm so grateful to them.
I just want you to describe second innings in one sentence.
I don't think I'd call it a second chance. I think I've been through 20 chances already.
I love that. I love that. If there's anyone who's mastered the art of living life on her own terms, it's her. She's loved big, built businesses, raised incredible kids, and never once apologized for choosing happiness over convention. And honestly, she makes it look fun. Welcoming Pooja Bedi, and this is her story of a second sunrise. Hi, Pooja.
Hello.
Welcome
Suhasini,
to this wonderful podcast. And is this the first time that you're doing something like this much in Chennai? Or have you talked to people?
I haven't been in Chennai for the longest time. Okay. And I'm here after a very long time. And strangely enough, in a few days from now, I'm going to be back in Chennai for another event.
So I'm inviting you on behalf of Jos Alukkas. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things. And your name. Do you know something very, very special about your name? There was a survey done recently about the most liked names of Indian girls. And Priyanka, Priya, Abhinaya, Akshaya, Aishwarya, all those names were there. You know which name topped the list?
Well, it seems by the looks of it was Pooja.
Yes, Pooja, you topped the list.
And I hope that I have something to do with it.
Of course, you have everything to do with it. We admire you. We like you. We like your entire family.
Thank you.
What a mixture of cultures and tradition and modernity, and it's absolutely brilliant.
You're absolutely right, because my father was a mix between a British mother, an English mother, who was Pooja Bedi, who later came to India. And she met my grandfather. So he's the 16th direct descendant of Guru Nanak, which makes me the 18th direct descendant of Guru Nanak Sahib. And he met my grandmother in Oxford. Right? They came back to India for the freedom struggle in India against the British, though she was British. And she then later became the highest ordained Buddhist nun in the world. There are 3 incredible books written on her phenomenal life. So it's been quite a journey being a grandchild to 2 such illustrious grandparents. Also, my grandfather later became an energy healer, and he healed thousands and thousands of people through energy practices. So there's that whole lineage that comes down between Guru Nanak Sahib, my Dadaji's healing powers, my grandmother being the highest ordained Buddhist nun in the world, the nunnery that she had in just below Dharamshala in Trilokpur. And it's just an amazing journey. And then I married a man who was half Muslim, half Parsi. So my kids have everything I am plus that, which I think is amazing. So yes, we're a very, very global, multicultural.
If your children's DNA is tested, it'll have a mix of everything.
Yes.
Wonderful. So how was it growing up in a household which was traditional as well as absolutely modern?
Well, I'm not sure what traditional really has to do with this whole space, because I grew up in a family that was ultra Bohemian.
Yeah, Bohemian, yes.
I think my parents heralded the entire flower power movement in India, the whole, the revolution of the sex, drugs, rock and roll era kind of space.
So what music did you listen to as a child?
My mother, as a very young child, it was reggae music. They loved reggae. They loved Louis Armstrong.
Okay.
There was...
So it was like Woodstock.
It was full Woodstock happening, and very.
Did you grow up with Beatles and?
Absolutely, absolutely, John Lennon absolutely,
America,
Phil Collins, and
Phil Collins,
grew up with all of that, and Then later, of course, my mother turned to classical dance.
Yes.
So then all we heard were thumping and gungroos and rugs. And then she used to wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and start her singing practice. And remember, as kids, my brother Siddharth and me would wake up like some 5 o'clock in the 4:35 in the morning and say, what is going on? And then we'd go into a room and say, Mama, please, we're trying to sleep, And
so what did your parents want both of you to do? Like the path that they were, kind of created for you?
I think our path was never determined by professional trajectories. Our path was always determined by the happiness quotient. And it was always about what made us happy. And my mother used to say, darling, I have put you on this planet because I wanted to be a parent. For my selfish reasons, you are now here. I owe you.
Okay.
I owe you a good, say for example, I owe you a home, roof over your head. I owe you food, right? So that your stomach is full. I owe you great education so that you can empower yourself. I owe you experiences so you know what to pick from. So you'll always have that. You want your luxuries, you go and earn it. Right? And the whole thing was, you want to be a beach bum, you want to be a hippie, you want to be an engineer, you want to be an astronaut, whatever it is you want to be in your life, you choose your path. Your basics are covered because I put you here. Whatever your interests take you forward into, whatever you want to earn for yourself materially, please go ahead and find your path.
So how is your parenting different from your parents?
I'm a very strict parent.
Okay, I
think every generation
skipped 2 generations and then that ruling mother came back.
It responds to the previous generation. So either you would turn around and be a reaction to them and reject what they do, or you would learn and assimilate how they are, right? So I think many parts of me rejected the incredible freedom I was given, because I remember when I was a child, I went to my mother and I said, Mama, you're a really bad parent. You never tell me what to wear. I wear tiniest of skirts. You don't say, wear longer things. I go out at night. Don't ask me who I'm going out with. You don't ask me what time I'm coming back. I don't have
no
a curfew.
curfew.
I have no curfew timing. You have to be back at this time. You don't tell me what to eat. And, so she looked at me, she says, you want me to ask you all of that? You want a curfew? She said, aren't you intelligent enough to decide all these things for yourself? Don't you think I would like to believe that I've brought you up with a great level of understanding that you know for yourself what is right, what is wrong, where to draw the line, how much to drink, who to go out with, who not to go out with, what time you should be home because you have a date tomorrow. These are very intelligent, independent decisions I would like to believe I have brought you up to be. So I didn't have an answer for that.
So let's talk about second sunrise.
Okay.
That is what we are going to talk about. And your film career, you were on top of your career, in media, you were doing ads and everything, but you all gave it up for a relationship. Do you call it second sunrise, or was it a kind of a calming sunset, kind of a dawn, dusk moment?
So my mother always taught me, whatever you do 100%, or you don't take it on, darling. Whatever you do, be in the pursuit of excellence. Right? So I was in films and I wasn't a very good actress, to be very honest. I was very good at being sexy. I was 100% good at being sexy. I used to be voted sex symbol of India, being put on the covers in these polls that they would have, like movie magazine
that
polls.
Came natural to you.
Society magazine polls and whatever. So I was just really good at being sexy. And so I decided to play that role and to be the sex symbol of India and to take that journey forward. Acting skills lacked a lot. And it didn't particularly enthuse me to be this best actor. So I should just distract them by showing my cleavage. So that nobody would look up because they were so busy looking down.
That's pretty honest. Okay, I like it.
So basically, yes, I got lovely roles. I worked in lovely films. There's Phir Teri Kahani Yaad Aayi with Mahesh Bhatt. Phenomenal director. I worked with Dharmesh Darshan. I worked with Mansoor Khan in Jo Jeeta Wohi Sikandar. And I didn't do very many films. So when you say I was at the top of my career, I wasn't actually. I just broken in. I just risen sharply to a certain space.
And you were very different from many of the actresses, tall and slim, and you look different, and like your dad and mom. You were very different, and we noticed you.
Well, and also I think I was more a paper tiger. So I was famous for being famous because I would say the most, in those days, what they consider the most outrageous things.
Okay.
And I lived my life very unconventionally in an era where people were hiding the fact that they had boyfriends. I was flaunting mine. When girls would leave home in long skirts and take it off because they had mini skirts below, I used to walk out in my mini skirts. I was very vocal, very open. I defied conventions. I was a rebel in many ways. And I did the Kama Sutra condom campaign, which was, in those days, it made history. The British tabloids heralded it as the sexual revolution of India. And I was just very comfortable leading change. I was very comfortable shaping mindsets. I was very comfortable helping people evolve beyond the mundane, because a lot of what people struggle with today is conformity. And they struggle with it because they choose to want bigger and better for themselves. But they are unable because of the rigidity of how they've been brought up, because of the fear of what might happen should they challenge conventions. So when somebody does something, they say, oh, she can do it, we can also do it. If she can live like this, we can also live like this. So in every way, my life has been definitive of what I would like for myself, not what society would want for me. And I think, to me, that was my greatest driving factor. So when I got married, again, it was a Muslim man that I was marrying, right? Back then, somehow there wasn't that much of a uproar as is today for some reason. Today, there's this whole love jihad and this sentiment of, Muslim and Hindu, and which is so sad, because when I was growing up, it was actually a true democracy and truly secular in so many ways. The fact is, when we got married, his family was conventional and they were fashioned differently. And for me to then want to be a part of that family and claim my own identity and make them uncomfortable in that space wasn't fair to me, wasn't fair to them. And, I told my mother, I said, what do I do? Because I just signed so many films because of Jo Jeeta Woh Sikandar, and all the other films I'd signed were amazing. And she said, darling, whatever you do it 100% or don't do it at all. And I thought to myself, if I want to be a wife, if I'm ready to be a wife and I'm ready to be a daughter-in-law, I think I should aim to be the best version of that. That's my new challenge, my new avatar, my new journey through life, right? And back in those days, again, once you got married, your career was pretty much over. Today, you can be married. Today, you can even have children. And you can still continue with a career in acting. Back then, those weren't really options available, especially to the sex symbol of India. And I decided to just give it my 100%. Gave up my career, gave back all the signing amounts of all the movies, and embarked on this new voyage of being 100% the best wife, 100% the best daughter-in-law, to see how that shaped up and shaped out for me. And it was an amazing journey while I was in it. And
no regrets? Absolutely.
Never regret anything that you ever do in your entire life. Everything is a learning experience, and everything is there because you choose it, right? The point is, when you have regrets, see, if you blame others, you get angry. If you blame yourself, you feel guilty. If you blame the universe, destiny, karma, you feel helpless. There's no need. It's your choice. Everything in your life, the clothes I'm wearing today, the fact I'm here on this podcast, the fiance I have today, the children I chose to bring on this planet, my food habits, the bed sheets on my bed, the staff that I keep in my home, everything is a conscious choice that I have made. In the same manner, we all make our choices. The moment you take responsibility for them and say, these are my choices. And yes, I'm human. I will make mistakes. And I have made plenty of mistakes in my life. But marriage is not a mistake. Marriage is an experience. Marriage is a journey. I thank him for my two beautiful children. Oh my God. I don't know how my life would have ever been without these two human beings in my life. I love them. So to me, my marriage gave me a best friend, because my ex-husband is my best friend. Even till today, he's one of my closest friends. And my children are my children, my love in my life and my everything today. So I thank him, and I thank that journey. Where would these people be without?
I'm much older to you, Pooja, but my motherhood came 3 years after you. Okay, after you were mother at 27, I was mother at 30. Early motherhood, does it bring changes in your attitude and your character itself?
I think 27 is really old to be a mother back in those days, especially because everyone was popping kids when they were like 21. If you go back in history, women were having kids by the time they were 17, they were popping their children out, So I think by that measure, 27 was pretty old because they say you must have your first child before you're 30 for biological reasons, for health concern reasons for your child. So to me, I met my husband when I was 20 years old. So to me, I'd been with him from 20 to 27.
That
was a long journey to say,
gestation period for
we're ready to be parents at this point of time. And I think 27 was the perfect age because you've had a good journey till then. You've got to experience your own life. You've had a career. You have a great understanding of the world. You've traveled a lot. With kids, when they come in, there's limitations, right, on every level because you have to now adjust your timings to their timings. You have to adjust your travel plans as per their school schedules. You have to think first of their needs and then of yours. So the holidays will be shaped on where they would like to go versus where you would like to go. And so everything changes dramatically once you have children. So I think for me, being a mother at 27 meant that at least for the 27 years of my life, I got to do things the way I would have liked to do them. And then post that, of course, comes the joy of being a mother and everything else that comes with it, including the frustrations and the exhaustion and the fulfillment and the excitement and the oh my God moments as a parent when you're watching your child take their own shape and form, and reminding yourself it's their journey, not yours. You must allow them to have their own space and their own growing up in different ways that you may or may not agree with on so many levels, and just seeing that bloom. And I think being a parent first at 27 and then at 30 with my son Omar, and having a girl and a boy was so special because I got to be mother to a girl and mother to a boy. And it's so different, those journeys. Every parent knows being a mother to a girl, the mother-daughter energies and clashes happen so differently from a mother and son, which is a completely different equation altogether. And I think the journey for me as a parent has been quite the journey, because I got divorced when my daughter was around 5 and my son was 2. And then to be a single working mother from that point onwards, literally earning your own living, starting from scratch, because you start off with really no credentials per se.
Because you've taken a break.
Because you've taken a break from everything.
Being ambitious.
Life was between 24 is when I got married and 32 is when I got divorced. And those are actually really formative years of your life, and even as mothers, and we give up so much of, I would say, the best years of our life. You can call it give up or you can call it investment. But with investment, you expect a reward. So, and I don't expect anything from my children. I think it's really wrong to say, I do for you, you do for me. I do for you because I chose to have you and put you on the planet, as my mother said. So I in so many ways, I respect their journey. I honor their journey, but I realize that I gave up a substantial number of years that could have been focused on me, but I focused on them. Okay. There could have been, there was a lot of time that I had to juggle with being a single parent, a working single mother, having to straddle both the career, because I was a nurturer and I was the provider in so many different ways.
I wanted to ask you, like in my life, there are my parents who live with me for the past 25 years, my husband and my staff. If I'm upset, there's only one person who kind of looks at me for a second and realizes that something is not right, which is my son. Okay. Even from the age of 6 or 7, he would ask me, Amma, what is wrong with you? The others. Did that happen to you with your child? Because when they were very young, you were in a transition from a routine of a wife and, daughter-in-law, as you said, and, somebody running the family and a mother, and things were changing. And did the children knew that your joy is being taken away and you're in transition period? Did they realize?
My joy was never taken away. I was so happy to be married and I was so happy to be divorced.
Oh, that is the first time I'm hearing this. I like that.
The thing is, why are you getting divorced? You're getting divorced because you're unhappy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So therefore, if you're going to be divorced and be unhappy, you might as well stay married and be unhappy.
Yeah.
Right? The reason you get divorced is because you choose to say, I now want to be happy.
Yeah.
I now want differently for myself. I am thankful and so grateful for the 12 years that I've had together, the children that we have created together. Thank you. But because I've had 12 good years doesn't mean I have to have 50 bad years.
Yeah.
If things are not working out, of course, you try your level best to make things work. You try your best to see how you can mend things, because there are two children, you are a family, and you want that dream to continue. Divorce is the death of a dream. Because you dreamt it would be, especially as women who've grown up with Mills and Boons and fairy tales, that it will be a happily ever after. And you visualize
forever.
that for yourself. Absolutely. And you believe you've done it right because you waited X number of years to meet the right person. You waited X number of years to get married. You waited X number of years to have the children. You've done the math. You've done the due diligence, so to speak. So it comes as a crashing blow in so many ways. But then you realize that things are utterly miserable and it's not going to change and it's beyond repair. And at that point of time, you have a decision to make. And when you make the decision to say, I think I'd like to be happy, rather than just be in a conformity. And who says, like in India, we say a lot of, for the sake of the children, stay in a relationship. Now, to me, it didn't make sense because I grew up seeing my father and mother being divorced. Again, I was 5 years old when they got divorced. And I saw them having the most loving and respectful relationship. I saw them be best friends with each other. My dad on his honeymoon with his second wife came and stayed with us, right? And I just saw my stepbrother Adam, who was born out of that marriage. We were so close to him and he was our family. So to me, divorce wasn't a bad thing. It's something where people journeyed from strength to strength. There was no need for aggression, anger, hostility. Yes, there is grief, there is anger, there is all of that. But on a larger picture, right, you learn to process that and say, what is my end goal? My end goal is that my children shouldn't suffer this. Neither do I want them to suffer a bad marriage where they see the father and mother fighting with each other all day, yelling at each other, or situations in the house that are unpleasant, or learning to cope in ways that are detrimental for your emotional well-being, for your mental well-being. I don't want my children to have to go through that. I don't want them to learn from me what not to do. And there's no great benefits in giving them a hostile environment, like a war zone to live in. It's not for their good. I know a lot of people who've seen their parents go through crisis in their marriage and wondered why their parents ever stayed together, because they were the victims of a bad marriage. So to me, I wanted my children to be empowered by our choices, our mutual choices. So therefore, when Farhan and me split, I was very happy to be divorced because I was freeing my kids from a possible scenario where they would grow up seeing a lot of things they needn't see or have to hear or have to contend with. So I think for me, the entire journey of marriage was great. The entire journey of divorce was thought of very strategically again between the two of us to say, yes, we will go through these emotions of X, Y, and Z because it's natural to feel these negative emotions and we're going to go through it. And it's a given. We'd not be human if we didn't go through all these. But the end result should be positive. Mm-hmm. The end result should be where there's a lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of mutual respect, a strong friendship, because that's the best for our kids. And we worked at it and we achieved it. And he's one of my closest friends today. We'll spend his current wife, Laila. She's so lovely. I've known her since I was in junior KG. Zan, their son together is like a part of our family. Like my daughter in one of my interviews said, I didn't realize divorce was a bad thing. And she says, I can't imagine my life without Laila auntie and without Zan. I cannot imagine our lives without them because our family got bigger. Okay. And I think that is the spirit people need to lead their lives with. And I think it's very important for mindsets to change. We're victims of our mindset. We're taught stepmother equals a bad thing. So we believe stepmother equals a bad thing. We believe divorce is a horrible end to a marriage. No, it is the best beginning of a new journey in your life. Okay. Right? So it's how you see something that defines your attitude to it and therefore the outcome of whatever it is that you're going through. So I think mindset is the most important thing, which is why today when I teach mindset, And I'm a positive mindset coach today. I have my website, poojabedi.com. People come to my website and they learn. I've recorded courses up on my website where people can learn to shift the way they look at life. I have to say one thing. My son, one day, I came home exhausted at night, I remember. And on my bed, there was this cute little note. He must have been like some 8 years old or something like that. And it says, "Dear Mama, I love you most in this world, but I love God more because He takes care of you." Okay. Now, if you think about that, and this child has seen me come home tired day after day, but see me smile in the morning and put out all this energy and be this person. And then one day he comes up to me and he's got me this women's boost. I think Horlicks or something as this women's formula. So he's come and said, "Mama, sometimes you come home so tired. This is for you, Mama." And I just thought that was so sweet because, they're not reprimanding you for working hard or reprimanding your choices. They're encouraging your journey ahead and empowering you with supplements to give you more energy to lead a better day and have a better version of life. And I think that is just so precious to me to know that, it's a mutually empowering relationship between me, my children. I have a fiance today. And it's so mutually empowering and for 8 years I've been engaged. And it's just the most beautiful space to be in where, my kids love him. He's at peace with my ex-husband and all my other boyfriends that I've had along the way. We're all great friends. And I think it's how you choose to script your life, how you choose to narrate your life to others that is viewed differently by them as well when they enter your life and space. So it's been a great journey so far. I've had no complaints, no regrets, and I can't wait to see what happens in my life next.
I can see that you're already on your second sunrise, but you are a positive person. I think you convert everything into positivity. But what is your view on second chances for a normal person who doesn't think, life is that easy, that comfortable, you will get approval of everybody. There are always fears and.
So I do these workshops, right, for these women's groups very often. And I remember at one workshop, I did my thing and I was speaking about life and changing mindsets and doing all of this. And at the end of the Q&A, this woman gets up and says, "See, Pooja ji, this is all very well for people like you who've come from these bohemian families, but we have to listen to what society says. Humko sunna padta hai, hum to simple people hai. We're simple middle class people and we have to listen to what society says to us, and
society expects us to be.
So what do you have to say about that, ma'am?" So I looked at her and I said, "Oh, interesting." I said, "All right, could you tell me something about your great-grandmother?" So she looks at me and said, "What?" I said, "Could you tell me something about your great-grandmother?" So she stares at me. I said, "Okay, what was her name?" So she looks at me. She doesn't know great-grandmother's name. And I said, "You don't know your great-grandmother?" I said, "Do you know how many sacrifices she's made for the family?" I said, "She's probably made food in the chula, stood at the side while the husband ate first, the children ate first and ate whatever was left over maybe. Maybe she suffered an abusive marriage but stayed on for the sake of the children. Maybe she was a devoted daughter-in-law who pressed her mother-in-law's feet every night, did everything as per the book, and you don't even know her name."
I know where the story is going.
Okay. And I said, "Who is going to remember you 2 generations later? And you are giving up your whole life and what you could achieve in your dreams and not making them come true because of what today's society will say when 2 generations later, nobody will even know your name." I mean, wake up. And everyone started clapping because it suddenly hits you that, my God, why am I pressuring myself? These are choices. Again, choices. Because everybody can make these choices. And we have seen across society, women making that choice for themselves and people adjusting around them. Right. And I think what's really important is to understand the incredible power that you control and you contain and how you can shape realities. Yes, people will not respond well to change, but eventually they will, especially if they love you. And if they don't love you, why are you pressuring yourself for people who don't love you?
So coming back to parenting, your children. Today, are you a parent or a peer to your children?
I am a parent to my children, and I made this very clear to them from day one. I said, something happened, and they said, no, yar, or something like that. I said, hang on a second. I'm not your yar. I am your mother. Okay. And I have a very specific duty, I would say, on this planet to be your mother. And I can be a friendly mother, but I'm not a friend. Mm-hmm. You can have a million friends in life, but there's one person that is your mother. And I intend to have that role played to perfection, the way I would see it. And I'm sorry, there may be times you will absolutely hate me. I don't have to take on this role of being tough or strict. And, as you go through your teenage years, and you will go through all these different cycles in your life. And there are going to be many times, as is normal, that you will battle with me and engage with me to test boundaries and to also understand who you are. Because children, when they rebel, get a better understanding of who they are. That's the reason for the rebellion. So I said, and you will go through those moments, and I will try to guide you the best way I know possible. But the fact is, I'm your parent. I'm not going to say yes to everything. I'm not going to be a friend that says, yeah, let's do it. I will encourage you. I will empower you. I'll fill your life with hugs, kisses, and sunshine. I'll fill it with experiences. I'll fill it with magic. But at the end of the day, there will be a lot of discipline because I am your mother. And I take that role very seriously.
Okay, your journey with yoga, fitness, interior design, and life coach, of being a wellness expert and all that, which is the most enjoyable of all these?
What yoga? My daughter does yoga. My daughter's the yoga expert who turns around. Have you seen her Instagram? Yeah. Oh my God, guys, go out there. Alaya F. Oh my God, that is next level of discipline. Her fitness levels are unparalleled. She does something where she goes down and her legs go up. And she contorts into these different positions, and she's like a pretzel. Like if I tried even quarter what she did, I'd be stuck there for life. I don't know how you'd ever untangle me from half her poses. She does these free flowing. We were in Goa recently on a surfboard in the middle of the sea. She's done a headstand on a floating surfboard. That level of balance, that level of consistency. I mean, I'm amazed by her discipline. I mean, I thought I was disciplined compared to my mother. And then I have Alaya, who's come in with her incredible levels of discipline. She wakes up in the morning, she does a meditation, she does a chanting, she does a yoga, she does a fitness, she does a script, she does her journaling, she's so meticulous. Her timetables, you see her calendar, how well marked out everything is, color coded, everything is in place for not just the next day, but the entire week. She's next level.
Okay. And now she's an actress.
She's an amazing actor. She got a Filmfare Award with her first film, Jawani Janeman, with Saif. She's done really good work after that. She's worked with Anurag Kashyap. She's worked on Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, which is a big project, yes. But not one of her high points, I would say, of her career, but definitely one of the largest scale films that was shot. Yeah. She was with Tiger in that.
Talking about success, how will you define success for your children and for yourself and your peers?
Definitely happiness. If you're not happy, you're not successful. Because whatever you do is always with the ultimate goal of being happy. If you buy a home, it's because you want to be happy. If you want to buy a nice car, it's because you think it'll bring you happiness. If you choose a life partner, it's because you believe you'll be happy. If you take on a job, it's because you believe either the job will make you happy or the money that comes from the job will make you happy. And so if you're not happy at the end of it, you're not successful in your choices. It has to be about not the pursuit, but the experience of daily happiness that proves you're successful.
Yeah. Can you put yourself on the shoes of women who are afraid to make the second or take the chance second time, waiting for the second sunrise, because they are worried about the culture and the society and the people around them who will judge them for their decisions, because it's the second time they're taking a chance. How would you give them courage?
Well, again, I would say that who are you pleasing? And if you're pleasing people who make you happy, right, who want your happiness, right, they would be happy that you're happy. If you're suppressed and not moving on in your life or denying yourself love, sex, pleasure, companionship, and all of that, it's so sad that people don't want that in your life for you. If people are going to judge you for it, that means they don't want you to experience that. And how sad is that? So I would say, tell people this is what I need, or don't even tell them. Just go ahead and have your experiences and hold your head high, because people will adjust, people will adapt. Okay, people may not talk to you for a period of time, people may negate you, people may shun you. What is more important for you? The approval of somebody who didn't want good things to enter your life, or for good things to enter your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Pooja, it's been wonderful talking to you. I think so many questions were answered even without me even trying to put it as a question to you.
Thank you.
So we are almost near the end of our session, and I just want you to describe second innings in one sentence.
The journey, when you realize that the journey is actually about just being happy in the moment, and you stop making decisions based on future happiness or other people's version of you. You just literally choose what makes you happy today, in a conscious way, in a respectful way, in a manner of integrity and respect for all, but most importantly, respect for yourself first.
Okay, for you, how has second chance has been?
I don't think I'd call it a second chance. I think I've been through 20 chances already.
I love that.
I think for me, it's been a journey of just growing from strength to strength. I love being on this amazing planet. I love the people that I meet. I love the choices I have made. I've loved the result of those choices, like my children or my relationships or my career. I just love my journey here.
So the word called regret is a myth according to Pooja. Is that so?
The word called regret is misphrased if you're looking at it. Just change the way you look at it. Just change the way you look at it. Everything changes. You know what? Just come to my website, do my damn course, and change the way you think. It's as simple as that.
Okay, wonderful, Pooja. It was really lovely listening to you. I'm a huge fan of your mother. She was a friend of my aunt in Bangalore. So Rethinking, and I know how beautifully she created the space for art, and your father. We were on a panel online discussion about environment, and his love for environment is just amazing. And I can see that you are not just about yourself, but you want everyone to enjoy life and freely and courageously as you have experienced.
And more importantly, with sensitivity. I say, on my website, I have this meditation called the self-forgiveness meditation. Because the one relationship we're the cruelest with is ourselves, right? The way we talk to ourselves, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, I'm so stupid, I'm so this, I'm so that. We would never let anyone else talk to us that way or appreciate the fact that someone else talks to us in that way. And when you actually get down, you talked about regrets. A lot of people suffer that. All you have to do is forgive yourself for your choices. Forgive yourself. You are human. You make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes, right? The whole journey of self-forgiveness is a 30-minute guided meditation that makes you apologize to yourself in a mirror for everything that you may have said that's hurtful, that's harmful, for self-neglect or self-disrespect or anything that you've inflicted upon yourself, which is unwarranted in any manner. And if you can heal your relationship with yourself, everything else changes.
I am not disciplined to do meditation.
It's guided. You just have to allow me to guide you. Like hello, you've sat here.
Yes,
you've sat here
exactly
for an hour and a half with me.
Yes,
right.
And I've chatted with you. Meditation.
So therefore,
it was a joyful meditation. Thank you, Pooja, for giving us this wonderful insight into happiness itself. I wish all women and men will follow a joyous path that you have carved for yourself. And thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Lovely
it was wonderful interacting with you.
Thank you.
All the best to you and your journey ahead as well.
Thank you. So wishing so many people, not just second sunrises, many sunrises. Absolutely. As Pooja has seen.
The sun never sets.
Yeah, it doesn't set. It's always rising.
Yeah, and for those out there that wonder, is the glass half full, is the glass half empty? The cup is refillable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Change the way you look at it.